Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, Top 1 Financial Advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. At some point in the life of every investor, you're going to ask yourself, why are my stocks falling? Like, why is everything continuously down, and should I get out? What should I do, and when should I do it? Today's video, I'm going to give you 4 of my favorite tips on how you can evaluate your investments, how to get yourself through these situations, and perhaps make a better decision on containing your losses and in some cases avoiding them altogether, depending on what you're investing in and what the stock market is doing as a whole. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, everybody runs into this space. Every single person. I don't care if you have CFPs and CFAs and MBAs, all these letters behind your name, or if you just started investing the other day. There are times where you are going to make a mistake. And sometimes it ain't your fault. I say that because there are times when you could do all your research, you're looking at charts, you're doing all the reading you possibly can, you invest in something, and then something completely out of your control happens to tank that stock. An example, we all went through the pandemic. There were times where people did their research, things were fine at the beginning of the year, and then something out of your control happened, and the entire stock market dropped. That's not your fault. So sometimes, just sit back and say, hey, this is not my fault. But here are the things that can help you to decide whether you should hold on, whether you should get out, and whether you're doing good or not compared to everything else. The first thing is context. Context is always important. We talk about it a lot on the channel, and that's because if you came to me and you said, "Hey, Kevin, I lost 5%. I'm really upset." That depends. Did you lose 5% in a day? You're not gonna get no sympathy from me. If you lost 5% in the entire year of 2022, you're probably going to get a round of applause. That's because the stock market was down 20% in 2022 and you lost 5. That means you did 4 times better than the entire stock market. Yes, you lost money, but I would rather take a 5% loss than a 20% loss. Context, right? If I lost 5% in something in 2022, I'm probably still going to hold on to it depending on what company it is. So anytime you're looking at something, you see your stocks falling, step back and say, well, what is the stock market doing as a whole? Am I doing better or worse? Am I close or am I really far off? An example here that happened to be is I loved Square. I love Square. I love PayPal. I like the way they're organized. Y'all saw me do the entire research process. I posted videos about it in 2020 and 2021. I put my kids' money, a little bit of it, into PayPal, and I had Square for myself, and it did not go well. And in fact, if you go all the way back to January of 2021, that's 2 years now, Square is down 70%. 70. The entire S&P 500 is only down 5. So that was an awful decision if I held on to it. The reason why I got out is because I looked after 6 months, because y'all know I reevaluate every 6 months, and said, look, Square is way down here, the stock market is up here, that's enough for me. There is no reason why I felt that it should be that far behind the overall stock market based on context. So always take into context, how long are you holding these investments and how's it doing compared to the S&P 500. That's the best metric that I would use, just because that's the overall stock market you can apply to almost any single stock. So that's number 1. Number 2 is industry. Compare it to other companies in its industry. If I'm investing in Delta Airlines and I want to know why is Delta so far down, I'm going to look at the S&P 500, but also let me look at the rest of the airlines. How is American doing? How is Southwest Airlines doing? United? Are they in the same space, or is it something wrong with this company specifically? If y'all remember, I guess back to the holiday season of 2022, where Southwest had that crazy outage and all of it, 90-something% of their flights were canceled. That was a Southwest issue on their own. And that's something where you can say, hey, look, this is just a blip on the radar. It's not something wrong with the entire travel industry, and you can make your decision that way, right? So I'm looking at the overall stock market. How's the S&P 500 doing? And then how is this industry doing? In the case of Square, I'm going to look at PayPal too and say, well, Square is down, but what about PayPal? Maybe is it something wrong with just my company, the one that I picked, or is it something wrong with this entire sector? If that's the case, then I might want to get up out of that sector, because sometimes, as we saw in 2022, tech was down, right? Payment companies were down. The entire sector of tech was terrible in 2022. Now, ironically enough, so far in 2023, that entire sector is up for the most part. So sometimes you got to get out of a certain sector because you are too heavily invested in it, which brings me to rule number 3. You got to implement the 5% rule. There are times where you can stomach losses and you may not notice them because it's not 30, 40, 50% of your portfolio. You always want to take calculated risk, and you don't want to allow one stock, one cryptocurrency, whatever it is you want to invest in, ruin your entire day and especially your entire portfolio or retirement or financial freedom based on how one company performs. You want to afford yourself to make mistakes. We're reading, and I'll pull up here, we're reading The Intelligent Investor, and I'll give you guys more details and stuff on the book club at the end of the video. But even they say that of all your money, you should definitely be investing in index funds. They say that a lot in the book, which I thought was interesting. And then don't have more than 10% of all your money divided into individual stocks. They even say that, which is like, hey, you should limit your risk. So if I've got, let's say, just to make the math super easy, if I have $100, $90 would be in an index fund, the other $10, I can pick 20 different stocks, right? So I got $10, 5% each, divide everything by 2. That's how we got that. And that way I'm limiting my investments to about $2 per stock in this, super small example here. So that's what I would do. That is something I might want to consider to ensure that I'm not, hurting myself or being too aggressive. That's something that you do want to definitely pay attention to. If I look at something and say, look, I got 50% of my money in one stock, what I would do is sell to get down to 5 and then split that money out and divide it into different investments to balance myself out. Y'all saw my portfolio last year where I had Adobe. Guess what? I got rid of that one. But I also had O'Reilly Automotive. I had Progressive. I had T-Mobile at one point. All of those were doing well, even though Adobe was not. That helped me to not be miserable and not lose 40% in 2022. It actually helped me out a lot because I had my money split between several different companies. So 5% is my rule. They say 10%, again, of all of your stocks. So it really depends on how much money you're investing. But you do want to have limits. You do want to have caps. I say even for Bitcoin, I still own my crypto. But I don't have more than 5% of all my money in one crypto coin. I'm not going beyond that. That's me, right? It helped me out a lot last year. We'll see what happens this year. So you want to be very careful around that. The last one is use a stop loss. If you are seeing your money leave your account rapidly, you want to make sure that you have a stop loss. A stop loss ensures that you are going to get out if the stock hits a certain point. Now, for example, let's say I'm investing in something at $10. I say, hey, look, if it comes down to $5, sell. Somewhere around that $5 point, if it hits that, then the stock your app will get you out of that stock. Now, what price? Depends on the app. There's a lot of factors. It could be $4.99, it could be $4.75, but you will get out of that stock. Now you can, we did an entire video, you can search the channel for this, where I walked you through all different types of stop orders, including a stop loss, that can help you to protect yourself to a degree if a stock continues to fall well beyond what you expect. So those are the things you should pay attention to. Context, industry, stop losses, and then making sure that you're limiting yourself to my 5% rule. That is what's going to help you when you start to see that stock falls well beyond what you think it should or faster than you expect. You have to have these rules in place. You need to have some rules. They don't have to be mine. They don't have to be mine, but you do need to have some rules in place. Also, don't forget patience. Patience matters too, because again, if you lose 5% in a day, that can be fixed over time. Just waiting 6 months, just waiting a year, waiting 2 years if you are that patient. So you want to make sure that you have those processes in place, have these rules, have these guardrails so that you can make good, clear investing decisions. All right, now before we finish today, we need to talk about this book club. This book is thick, as you can see. Now what we are doing, I will put the link in the description below to join the book club. The book club is free. Okay, it is. I do a lot of free stuff, 250 free videos a year. The book club will also be free. What we're going to do is to read, it'll be right around 4 chapters. We're going to meet once a month, the last Friday of every month. This month will be April 28th, 2023, because you can be watching this at any point in the future. I don't know what's going to happen to the book club beyond then. But in either case, hit the link below to sign up for it. That way I can send you guys a link if we decide to do Zoom or something like that, and we can have a discussion about the book. Also, we're going to do Schedules, I'll put this all in the email. We'll talk about it as we get closer to it. But we're going to do chapters 1 through 4. So I want to meet once a month. The reason why we want to meet once a month is, one, I did a lot of research on book club and they say that's the best time, just once per month. So that was one. But also it gives everybody enough time between now and the 28th to get the book if you haven't already, to read up if you haven't already. That's about 100 pages, which is 25 pages a week. That's 25 pages a week. Monday through Friday, read 5 pages. On the 28th, you're going to be fine. You would have had 100 pages read. That's just 5 days a week, not including the weekend. So that's plenty of time for people to catch up. If you get behind, yes, you can still catch up. We're meeting once per month. So chapters 1 through 4, the last Friday of every month is the time we're going to meet. But to get the link and to figure out where we are and what my notes are and what I'm thinking about the book, you need to go to the link below and sign up for the book club. Okay? It's just an email. And I'll say, hey, look, we're meeting on this day. We're going to meet on Zoom or on YouTube Live or whatever way and whatever time, because I haven't picked a time yet. We need to coordinate on what time we go meet and all that kind of stuff. All right. So The Intelligent Investor is the book. I have the, which I think is most editions now, the revised edition with the foreword by Jason Zweig. That's the one I have. Again, I think most people have this version. Get it from Amazon, your local bookstore, library, wherever it is you want to get it. And that's what we gonna do. Okay, yeah, I want a book club. I want to tackle something, and then we'll I'll give you my thoughts, my simplification of it, because it is a little dense, and we'll take it from there. If you've already read it, still join, because I would love to hear your thoughts as well. All right, last update, and what's the word I'm looking for? Housekeeping notes. We still have a new video we're going to be dropping inside the Rumors Only for at least one stock analysis for ANSS. So that's going to be dropping here pretty soon. If you have any other questions and thoughts and things you want me to cover, let me know that now, because I'll be out next week, but our videos will still come out. So I would love to get your thoughts, your inputs, because I'm here to help you. So if you want me to break something down, what my opinions or thoughts on something, let me know in the comments below, and I can do it either this week or schedule it for next week. All right? That is it for me. I will see y'all later. Bye.